So type is the crucial part of a brand. I'm sure you know that a logo is not a brand. And I think that that's something that's really hard for us as designers to communicate. When I tell people that I do brand strategy or branding, it's like, oh, can you do a logo for me? Well, yes, but I won't just do a logo. I never just do a logo. It's a package, it's a brand, it's a vibe and a personality that you have to communicate to people. Your brand is the adjectives that people use to describe you. That's why I asked about the adjectives for Albuquerque. That's our brand. When people come here and they leave and they tell someone, well, it was strange, or it was really interesting, or, Portland's weird, that's the brand. It becomes who you are. And that's something that you have to gather in your research process. So type should enhance your brand message. So type should never just be like, well, we have something to say, so let's just click on the drop-down menu and see, what the most used things are and just grab something. It's really hard to move past what you're comfortable with and to really look at typefaces and to show others how important that is. But type, as you said this, type communicates a story and a message. So just like we do, we communicate and we have a story to tell. You're saying that you're an implant to Austin. That's part of your story. That's part of your personal brand. So type makes first impressions just like people do. This is kind of a cool revelation to me. I've always loved type. But when I realized that similarly to the first impression of Amsterdam, when you first get there, that's your first impression. When you see someone's logo, whether it's in a postcard for the first time, or maybe you come to an event like this and it's on the tag, you get a chance to really read that person. So keep in mind that it's like a person. Type is like a person. It has shapes, it has undertones. Wanted to just show you something that was really fun. Saying the exact same words. These fonts would like to meet you. Eloquent is I'll just go back here. It's the font that I use for my personal brand.
It's
Yeah,
really beautiful.
it's this.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And I chose that one because I feel like it's posh, friendly, creative, and it's really interesting. And those are all things that I would like to say about myself. This is Nutra. This is a House Industries font. I don't know if you guys know about House Industries. They're one of my favorites. Nutra is very unobtrusive, warm, and inviting. Try to think about type. When you think about type as people, give them personalities. See if you would be able to describe that type as a person, and then you will be able to relate that to a person's brand or a company and see if those two work together. This is Have Heart. Got to throw a trendy one in there. All this handwritten type is very in right now. And this one's a little more unpredictable, maybe rebellious, kind of flexible, but fun, youthful. And Veneer can come across as a little rude, rough around the edges. But it's also straightforward and honest, which is good. So I'm going to give you 4 P's on how to see type differently. The first is that we need to see that type is a part of the process. I don't know how many of you guys actually have a creative process or a design process. This is something that if you follow me, my blog, anything, you'll see that process is a big thing, that you should be able to do sketching, do brainstorming, find concepts, and then after you've come to a point of adjectives and descriptions, find your concept, you can immediately start looking for typefaces. At the very beginning, before you've even touched your design, aside from sketches, you should have an idea of the kind of type that you want after you've identified those adjectives. Type should be a priority. So that one coincides with it being a part of the early part of your process. Type should be a priority. It should not only be a priority in that it's in the beginning part of your process, things that are a priority are important to you. My kids are almost always on my mind because I'm their mom, I care about them, I'm thinking about them, they're a priority to me. And so type should be the same. It should always be right here. Even if you're not working with it right then, you should always be thinking, okay, is the layout I'm doing going to work with this type? Will this photo that I chose complement the typeface that I'm thinking about using? Always think about type. Type is to design like eggs are to baking. I think that a lot of designers bake up their designs and go, oh, I needed a typeface for something. There's copy here, so I should just grab something real quick. And I say it's like eggs because I'm no baker. I'm not a great baker, but I know that if you try to make the cake and add the eggs after you put it in the oven, it doesn't work. And it's the exact same thing. And I relate things to cooking often because I'm starting to learn how to cook, and type design and design in general is like cooking. You're getting all your ingredients and then you put them together. You don't make something and then throw an ingredient in at the end. Type can be powerful. This one's really big. It can make you feel. Type can make you choose things. Type keeps you safe. Tobias Fair-Jones is a type designer. He used to be with Hoffler Text, getting a little geeky on you, but he says that the time that it takes from the moment you open your eyes to interact with some sort of type is probably less than 30 seconds. Whether you grab your phone and look at your phone or your alarm clock, someone designed that type. It's a really powerful thing once you realize that no matter where you are, from the moment you open your eyes to the moment you close your eyes, there is some sort of type speaking to you, sending you sort of a message, asking you to do something. So I forgot my big notebook, but I'm going to try and use this real quick. I know we're running close on time. The first time that I interacted with type in a really powerful way was my first term at my graphic design school. And when I was there, it was a layout class, and my instructor wrote the word alien on the board. He just wrote it, just simple, and asked us how we felt about it. It's just the word alien, like there's nothing to it. And then he wrote it again. He wrote it long and tall and spaced out. And forgive the messiness, but then he wrote it like this. And for the first time in my life, I was just floored. I'm like, type actually matters. Like, you can say alien or you can say alien and really creep people out. And that's not even good typography. It's just writing it just a little bit differently. That was when I saw that type was powerful, and that we have the control over it. So we talked about this, and type has its own personality. I've kind of been talking about this all day. It gives personality to a brand, but it has it all its own. Every single letter, if you get up close to it and look at it long enough, you'll begin to see that it has curves and lines, and it communicates differently. I was recently designing a tattoo for a friend of mine, and we were looking. She's not a designer. She's going into education, but she's not a designer at all. And we were looking through typefaces for the tattoo that she wanted, and I felt like it was a personal victory that she was like towards the middle, like, oh, I don't know, I don't like that A, and I was like, yes, because I'm like, you understand. Now you understand what I do, and seeing the little intricacies, just like when you're getting to know somebody, getting to know type is really something that is really valuable. So there's a study that you guys can look up. It's a perception of font personalities, and it just kind of shows the different standard fonts and how people feel about them. If you give me your emails, I can send you this whole slideshow if you're interested. And lastly, this is my passion project. This is where I get to play with my own type. I'm currently working on a series of classic literary author character portraits and trying to use my own handwritten type to get emotion out of these characters and make posters for them. So, in conclusion, type has personality and power if we will only give it priority and make it a key part of our process. So kind of wrap it all into one little nice phrase. I really appreciate you guys being here. I know that it was hot outside and the type hunt was hopefully a good time for you. And I hope I didn't go over too much, but I was trying to talk fast. I got off on tangents with you guys because it's such a small group. So thank you so much. And
Thank you.
I hope that you can